Well, this is the old 560 Farmall tractor, about a 60 horse. Got a broken wheel, and I need to take it in to the tire man, the tire shop down at south end of Carrollton, and have a tire replaced, but I can't get it started. So I'm going to take a guess that it's in the carburetor. I think a piece of dirt or something's got in there, so we're going to take the carburetor off, take it apart, clean it, or we are not going to put a kit in. We're just going to clean it, spray carburetor cleaner in it, and put it back together and put it back on, because it's been running perfectly for a lot of years. If it will turn over with a starter, it will usually start if it's got gasoline. So, and it wants to die off pretty quick, so I think there's something that's got through the filters and stuck in the carburetor. So if you do one of these, there's not a lot of room on these bolts, and you take a wrench up in there, and then on the carburetor has to drop down slightly, and on the next nut, that one back there, you actually have to lower the carburetor as you take the nut off. The studs are permanent, at least on this one, and you have to drop it down because there's not enough room in the casting of the carburetor for the nut to go in all the way up. So then, and I'm dropping those nuts, but I've got a bucket down there. Now next, you want to take the keeper off of the governor rod, and that's that red rod running up there. It'll either have a cotter pin or a wire or baling wire or scotch tape or something holding it in. This one has stainless steel tie wire, which is real thin and tough as a telephone pole. It's this stuff is something else. So then slip that rod off and turn the carburetor on its side, and now you can get to the choke cable and the thing that holds the holder. You have two screws, or two screws and a nut, or some setup, and you'll be able to unloosen them. I used a couple wrenches there. Now this is sped up because so it's, at least I can't work that fast. So anyway, our next stop should be the tailgate of the Chevy 3500 Duramax that I bought almost 20 years ago. It still runs like a top. Got a little rust on the rocker panels, but all right, now we're on the tailgate of the 3500 Crew Cab Duramax. We're going to take this carburetor apart, and there's 4 screws in the top, and one screw has a bracket on it for the choke cable, and all the screws, at least on this one, are the same length. So that one there is underneath the fuel inlet. And we're coming up with our with our float. Kind of be careful of the gasket. And this has the copper or brass float, metal. And if you take it off and can shake the float and hear something splash, that means it's got a hole in it and it's full of gasoline, and you need another float. And they're about, right now, they sell them. They're about $40 plus shipping probably. So anyway, we're just going to spray through all of our holes in there. Watch our eyes while we do it. And you see that carburetor cleaner coming out. Just hit them all, and if there's something in there, it should come out. That's clear now. And here's our little needle valve. Now, if you spray that needle valve, or if you spray that pin, that carburetor cleaner can blow it off your tailgate. I've lost one before. Had an awful. Never did really make it right after. But if you watched there, you saw that I held the shut-off thingy down with a pair of pliers when I sprayed it, because I sprayed one time and lost one and never did find it. It was on an old Sears lawnmower, and it I never did get the right one for that thing. It just I've worked with a lot of carburetors, but that was a strange one. This one here, we got the same thing again, the base. We're going to spray in it, make sure everything's cool. We're going to take our we've done nothing on adjustments. We've done nothing on turning. We have turned nothing. Okay? Nothing. All we've done is take it apart, spray it with carburetor cleaner through all the holes, put some WD-40 on those screws right there, and put it back together. It's not a complicated. Doesn't take a brain surgeon to do it. You know, might get a little dirty, but and it should work. Now you can see me. I'm going to spray. I'm going to blow in that hole here, and you never suck on one of these things. You blow in, and with it like that, you should be able to blow in because the float is down. And then if you turn it upside down, that would close the float due to gravity, and you blow in, and you should not be able to. And if you can, you take it back apart and spray it again, because there's some dirt in there that's stopping that needle valve from closing. So anyhow, at least I think I'm going to, well, maybe I didn't. I thought I did. But I might have done it afterwards and didn't get it on the video. Now here we put our carburetor back together. Now this is not a Caterpillar diesel bulldozer, so you do not have to have stuff terribly tight. Okay, you want it tight, and lock washers are nice because they keep it from falling apart. But the biggest thing is that you just don't over tighten it, because on the cart you can strip out that carburetor base. Now a carburetor like that, I found one on eBay, not guaranteed to work, and it was $200. And then they make a new one, which I think sells for about $50. Somebody's casting them out now, but all we did here, we got by with just a little bit of carburetor cleaner, which I had in stock, and you want to throw a little oil on it, doesn't hurt a thing. And we've got our choke down. Now we're going to put our governor cable back on and put our tie wire in and get it locked in place. Then once we do that, we're actually ready to mount it back up. So let's see if we get a focus. Yeah, there you can see the tie wire holding that governor cable or governor rod in place right there. It's on the right side. You can see it kind of shiny down there. So now we'll put a little oil on the studs and start with the back one, because you got to have the carburetor down to be able to start the nut. So then you'll raise the carburetor as you go, and it will clear the casting. And you don't see a lot of carburetors. You see a lot of carburetors, but not a lot of people that really fooled with them. Yeah, we used to do the Quadrajets and the big Hollies and all them. But fuel injection is very efficient. Works well. As long as the computer's going, you're in pretty good shape. And we just tighten her down. Remember now, you're not doing a strength contest here. You just want it snug. Seal that gasket up so it doesn't suck extra air more than what it needs through the. So what do we got now? Okay, we got our line back on. We'll turn our on-off valve on, and we will start it up. Now I had to replace that filter and clamps and line. It didn't match right and wouldn't seal. And I got some 3/8 size filters and then stuffed it into a soft 5/16 fuel line and put the clamps on it, and it held. So I just anyway, here she's starting right up. You can see runs like a top. So our cleaning without any adjustments or without any new parts in this case worked. It might not always work, but it's worth a chance. I don't know if you can hear this or not over that tractor. I cut the volume down on the tractor, but it might still be too loud. But I like working on this stuff, and we're in the quail restoration thing with the state, with the conservation department, and we get to plant and put in food plots. I like to throw a bucket on it in case of a hurricane. But anyway, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.